Hello, I'm Ratna and I'm back today with reported speech. Reported speech is, it's called direct and indirect speech or reported speech, whatever. It seems to, confuse us at times. And very often we make small little errors. And because even though we know how to do it, we just overlook a few things. Today we shall discuss, the main things that we have to focus when we are trying to work on reported speech, right? What is reported speech? Somebody says something and that is reported to someone else. That is reported speech, right? The teacher is strict. It's not me, some other teacher. The teacher is strict. So she reports this to the third person. She said the teacher was strict, right? The teacher is giving everyone an A. Wonderful. We all love such teachers, isn't it? Who can just throw A's at you. All right. The teacher is giving everyone an A and it is in inverted commas. So this is direct speech. So he is reporting it to a third person. He said the teacher was giving everyone an A, right? So this side on your right, rather on my right, it is reported speech, and on the other side, it is direct speech. Now, when you look at these sentences, you can find that there are certain changes in them, right? And for instance, we have used this word said. We have used the word said. This said was not there in the direct speech. It is there in your reported speech. The moment we have used this word said, all the sentences change. So let us see what are the changes that happen when we speak in reported speech. One, what things change? Tenses change, right? Two, the pronouns change. And three, distance. There is a change in distance. As we do sentences, you will notice that these are the three main changes that happen when we change from direct speech to reported speech. Now, what exactly is reported speech? Reported speech is when we convey the message of a speaker in our own words to another person. In our own words. This is important. So we are not just conveying what was said to us, verbatim, exactly as it was. We make some changes because we are narrating it. Could you help me? This person asks. The girl asks, what did John ask you? He asked me for help. So there are certain words here that have, changed. What did John ask you? He asked me for help. So there is this word could, which is not there in the reported part, right? So many changes happen. So one more thing that changes is, the modals change. Change in modals. So tenses change, pronouns, there'll be a change. There'll be change in the distance, when you are reporting, and there'll be a change in the modals. So let us do one thing at a time. Let's talk about changes. What changes take place in the tenses? Huge changes, big changes. Now, when we did this sentence, I said this word was bringing in a lot of change. What is this? We call this the reported verb. The word said is called the reported verb, right? This brings about a lot of change in the tenses. How? If the reported verb is, let me take a fresh page. If the reported verb reported verb is in simple present or future, then the second verb in the sentence, this will remain in the present or future. So if the reported verb is in simple or future, the second verb in the sentence also remains in the present or future. For instance, for example, the teacher says, Hari is very naughty. Right? So the teacher says, the reported verb, this is the reported verb. It is in the simple present. So when we change it, the reported speech will be, the teacher says that Hari is very naughty. This remains is because says, simple present. So this remains is, right? Now look at another sentence in the simple future. At 9 p.m. my mother will say dinner is ready. Sorry, just a minute. Capital D. Say dinner is ready. So at 9 p.m. my mother will say dinner is ready. Now if we have to convert this into reported speech, simple. We said that if the reported verb is in future, the second verb also remains, in that tense. There's no change, right? So at 9 p.m. my mother will say dinner, will say that. We just add this one word that. Here also we had added the one word that dinner is ready. So if the reported verb is in simple present or simple future, in the reported speech, the verb remains as it was. We do not change it, right? But what happens if in the reported verb, if the reported verb is in past, then what happens? Then certain changes happen, right? Let's see what changes happen then. If the reported verb is in past, like the example that we discussed, she said, what happens? Here, in that case, the tense, the verb also, the second verb in the sentence also becomes in the past, right? It changes. If the reported verb is in the past, then the second verb, the verb in the sentence also comes in the past tense. For instance, if it is in simple, okay. So if the reported verb is in the past and the simple verb, the second verb is in simple present, it changes to simple past. If it is in present continuous, it changes to past continuous. And if it is present perfect, it changes to past perfect. If it is present perfect continuous, it changes to past perfect continuous. Look at the sentences given here. I always drink coffee, she said. She said. So the reported verb is in the past. So this will all change to simple past. She said that she always drink will change to drank, right? In the present continuous, he explained. So explained is past. The reported verb is in the past. I am reading a book. So present continuous. This will change to past continuous. He explained that he was reading a book. It has become past continuous. Now again said here, she said he has finished his work. Said. Reported speech is past tense. Okay. So present perfect will change to past perfect. He has finished will become, she said that he had finished. Had finished. Right? So here again told, so reported speech is past tense. I have been to Spain. I have been to Spain, he told me. He told me that he had been to Spain. So, past perfect continuous. So, that was, how the tenses change. So, we have to remember that the main thing that changes is what? Tenses. And this is governed by what? The reported verb. That should be our focus. If the reported verb is in simple present or future tense, then there is no change. If the reported verb is in the past tense, then all the tenses will change in indirect speech. If it is simple present, it will become past. If it is present continuous, it becomes past continuous. If it is present perfect, it becomes past perfect. If it is present perfect continuous, it becomes past perfect continuous. Right? So we are done with one part of the change that happens, the tenses. Then other changes also happen. Now look at this sentence. I'm going to watch Star Wars tonight. She's Mrs. Phillip. She's who? Mrs. Phillip. Now we want to report or put into reported speech what she said. Mrs. Phillip said that she was going to watch Star Wars that night. Look at the changes here. I has changed to she. The tense am going, present continuous, has changed to was going, past continuous, and tonight has changed to that night. So there are basically three changes. One, the pronoun. Two, there's a change in the tense. And three, there's a change in the time. Three changes have happened in this sentence. Tenses we've already done. The moment it was said Mrs. Phillips, here instead of this dialogue sign, I would say said Mrs. Phillips. Philip. Right? So, Mrs. Phillips said, reported verb is in the past. So, present continuous, I am going, becomes was going. Pronoun I has changed to she. And the time tonight has changed to that night. So, now let us see how this happens, or rather let us, come to a conclusion. What are the changes that happen? Time. Let's just time for now. When you are reporting a speech, when you are putting a direct speech into indirect speech or into reported speech, there is a big change in time, right? Now, how is that? Now becomes then. Let's think of a sentence with now. John said, I am busy now, right? So this can change, or rather, let me just make it Harish. So Harish said that I will become he, am will become was. Why? Because the reported verb is said that he was busy, now becomes then. Harish said that he was busy then, right? What else changes? Today becomes that day. So suppose we add Harish said I am busy. Instead of now I'm going to say I am busy today. Reported direct speech. So what does this change to? Harish said that he was busy that day, right? So today has become that day. This week, so I am busy. Let's just change this to this week. So this will change to that. He was busy that week, right? So this tomorrow becomes the next day similarly. Yesterday becomes the day before. Last week becomes the week before. Along with the time, even place, there is a change. Here becomes there, this becomes that, these become those. Now let's just take an example. Reena said, bring the chair here. So Reena said that, bring the chair here. Rather, I will just put a name just to make it simple for you to understand. Reena said, bring the chair here, Ravi. Okay. Reena asked Ravi, we'll just change it a little bit. Asked Ravi to bring the chair there. So here has become there. The guard said, the boss is here, right? So the guard said that the boss was there. So here changes to there. That's all. Okay. What else changes? This becomes that. Now let's make a sentence with this. My mother said this is a this is tasty food. Okay. So my mother said that was tasty food. Let me give you a simpler sentence. My mother said this happened yesterday. This happened yesterday. Okay. So my mother said that happened, another that, this is the that which said, and this that has become that happened the day before. The day before. Yesterday changes to day before, right? So now let us see, here becomes there, this becomes that, these become those. Simple. So now what have we discussed? We have already discussed that tenses change, time and place changes. So what are we left with? According to our discussion, what are we left with? Pronouns, right? Distance and time. Time and place rather. I should change this to time and place. So now we have to discuss pronouns. What are the changes that happen in pronouns? When we are reporting speech, when direct speech is being reported, or when we are writing a sentence in reported speech, the pronoun changes. Look at this slide here. John says, I will be late, right? So he has used the pronoun I. He's talking about himself. When we are reporting it, John said that he would be late, right? It is said, reported verb is in the past, so will become would, and I will change to he. Make sense? So, what are the pronouns? What are the changes that happen in pronouns? Hari said, I will do my best. Right? Hari said that. Hari said that he, I will change to he. He will do, my becomes, if it is he, it will become his. He will do his best. Sorry. So, this pronoun will follow the first one. If it is he will do, then that remains he. But it's I and my, so it will become he and his. If it is she, it will become she and her, and so on, right? The teacher said, you must answer correctly, right? You must answer correctly. This is something the teachers say very frequently. So if we have to put this into a reported speech, the teacher asked us, you could be us, or asked him, both are correct, or asked her. We do not know unless it is specified. Now if the sentence is the teacher asked Neeta, you must answer correctly. In that case, the teacher asked Neeta that you will become that she should answer correctly, right? But if it is not specified, then you can become we, you can become she, or you can become he, right? You must answer correctly, that we must answer correctly, or he must answer correctly, or she must answer correctly. So this is how the pronouns change. Pronouns change to, when we do it in reported speech.